In a few moments, I'm going to invite you to take this little test, the results of which I believe you're going to find quite surprising. Hey, this is Dr. Bob of Proactive Wellness and Injury Center. And before I do that, though, I want to share with you something that I think that you're also going to find surprising. And it's everybody, at least I'm sure that you know, has one of these and carries it around with them on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, they can't live without them in most regards. But as wonderful as that little device is, it's also causing some problems in your body that you're not aware of. And in order to explain this a little more deeply, or clearly, I should say, it's like it's a muscle, and so you go to the gym and you're working out at the gym and you're developing these muscles. And then after a while, after you get to a certain point, you discontinue the workout, and you know what happens to that muscle that you've developed and built up? It starts to get smaller and smaller. It's atrophying because you haven't been using it as you once did. Well, that point is to illustrate what's going on here. Now, what's happening is we have become so dependent on these things that it's caused an action to occur in the brain, not unlike what's going on in the muscle. We talk about muscle performance and we lose it over time because we're not using it. And I want to talk to you about neural performance, and it's the same situation. If we don't use it over time, we begin to lose it. Now, to make this point, what I'm going to invite you to do is to take this little test. What I'd like you to do is to write down names of 5 individuals that are closest to you. Could be your husband, your wife, your sons, your daughters, your mother, your father, whoever it may be in your world. Write down 5 names. Okay? Then after you've written down the 5 names, I'm going to ask you next to each name to write down the individual's phone number, the number that you would use to call them up. And I believe that if you do this test, you're going to find that you don't know the phone numbers of these individuals. And the reason being is because of this. We no longer have to use this because now we use this. We touch a point and it dials automatically. And because it does that, we don't have to engage our memory. Now, the body, being fearfully and wonderfully made, is also very economic. And just as if we don't use the muscles, they begin to shrink, so the brain also begins to atrophy or shrink in its performance. It no longer has to perform that function, so therefore the energy that was directed to that area of the brain, or the energy that accomplished that task, is redirected somewhere else because that area of the brain is no longer called upon to perform that function. And that's happening at a tremendous rate in the brains of all of us, unbeknownst to most of us. That's the bad news. The good news, however, is, as I alluded to a few moments ago, is that your body is fearfully and wonderfully made. And just like if you find that the muscle has shrunk, it's gotten smaller, you've gotten weaker, you can go back to the gym, you can eat the right foods, you can start to work out again, and you can start to use it. And you know what that body's going to do? To the best of its ability, it's going to rebuild that muscle once again because it's being used, it's being taken care of properly, and it's fulfilling its innate purpose, which is to maintain itself, regenerate itself, rebuild itself, and to function at its fullest potential. That same truth applies to your brain. If we feed it properly, if we exercise it properly, if we utilize it in the way it was supposed to be used, then it's going to function the way it was designed to do. And the point I'll make here is that we at Proactive Wellness and Injury Center can help you do just that. We can help you to rebuild that brain, to re-stimulate that brain, to bring that brain of yours so that it becomes sharper, it becomes, your memory is improved, your cognitive abilities once again return, and as that one muscle affects the whole body, that healthier brain is also going to affect that whole body in its ability to move through its environment and in its ability to maintain an upright posture and navigate through the environment. I'm talking about the motion, the brain, and also the balance. And as I've spoken to about before, we have a lane now that's given specifically to those purposes to rebuild that body in that way. So if you find yourself forgetting this or stumbling around or no longer able to move as you once did, your body may be speaking to you, letting you know that you have a problem that's developing. And like any other problem, if it's not properly addressed, then it's only going to continue to get worse and worse and worse. So look, I want to thank you for allowing me to share this information with you. And I would really be interested in hearing your comments regarding that little test. I'd like to see if you passed or if you failed or if you got 3 out of 5 or whatever it may be. But if you didn't have the numbers of those 5 most important people in your life, I would strongly suggest that you commit those numbers to your memory, right? Commit them to your memory because that's what the brain is hungering for, to be used. Hey, once again, I want to thank you for allowing me to share this information. If you're interested in finding out about our resources here and our abilities to help you enjoy the best performance of your life, please don't hesitate in contacting us. We'd love to be of service to you. So again, until the next video, and as always, God bless.